Hi, this is Steve with Paladino Power Project, bringing you another video, this time on gating your running effectiveness samples from your data for planning purposes. And what I use, I have my own spreadsheet, but the easiest way for you to do it at this time is to use the SuperPower Calculator, the Google Sheets version, and this particular calculator function. So you just scroll down to this one right here, calculate power metrics, and we're specifically going to want to look at running effectiveness. These others are not critical in race power planning. So SuperPower Calculator, Google Sheets version, this particular function. Now, in the past, there have been a Chrome extension that will extract running effectiveness data from Powercenter or add it to the Powercenter demo or presentation screen. And then that failed, and then a Firefox extension was done, and that failed when Stride revamped Powercenter. So this is the best that you got going. Of course, if you have WKO, it calculates it for you. If you have Runalyze, I believe that calculates it for the entire run. But this is how you do it with your own Powercenter data, and I'm going to show you from a couple of files, a few files that I have from one particular athlete using their Powercenter data. So open up this calculator and enter the weight setting. Stride weight setting here is going to be important to get the proper running effectiveness values. So you select that calculator function, enter your weight on the main page, and then go to the activities. And basically, we're going to want pieces of data, and we're going to want average power. We're going to want the time or duration segment, and then you can input either miles or kilometers. I'm using miles because that's the default on the way I view Powercenter. So let's look at a few things. This one here, now, there's the whole power file. You're not going to get an accurate running effectiveness if you use all of that data or use this particular distance and time and average power. Not going to be accurate. So I'm selecting just this component here. And now we have a continuous run. It is a little bit lumpy. Look at the elevation profile in the back. I'm going to take pace out, but look at the elevation profile. And then also, I always double check what the air power is on these. So I'll take that data, distance, time, and average power, and I'm going to come in and I'm going to enter it over here. There's average power, there's the time, there's the distance. Just entered in those three columns. And then this allows up to 10 segments. So I can, if I wanted to, I could look at just one smaller segment towards the end. But I'm going to go and I'm going to do this particular file. This is a long run. And you can see there's no data here, so it's not continuous. So I'm going to do this. There's one. All I'm doing is left-clicking and selecting here. There's one little data drop out, but that's not important. So I'll take the average power, the time, and the distance, and I'll transpose it over here. All right. This runner has a couple of prior marathons, and we're doing sampling for marathons. So if you've got a marathon, that's the best because you're running full effort for the marathon. and you're running the full distance. The fatigue factor is built into how that affects running effectiveness. So prior race data is gold. So if you have that, it's helpful. Although, again, this is a little bit lumpy, so that's going to lower the running effectiveness a little bit. If you're planning for a flat race and air power was 0%, that's going to raise running effectiveness a little bit. So you have to take this and interpret it in light of that fact. But I'm going to take the average power, the duration, and the distance, put it in the SuperPower Calculator. All right? And there it is. So we're looking, if you slide over here, we're on the activities page. We slide over here and we have running effectiveness calculated for you. So from that one data file, we got 0.930, and that was a fairly lumpy. This is also fairly lumpy, 0.926. This was the marathon, a lumpy marathon, but with 0% air power, so 0.942. All right. So the thing is that if you look at this and you go, okay, 0 air power, well, if he's wearing the same shoes, then it's likely to have the same effect on air power. And so we could maybe use this if the person's using their same shoes. Well, here is another marathon, and you can see that this one is a little bit flatter. This one had 882 feet total climbing. This one had a little bit less, 561 feet of total climbing. So a little bit less, and that will have the effect of raising the running effectiveness a little bit, but also 0%. So I take the average power, the duration, the distance, we enter it into the SuperPower Calculator, and those are the numbers. We slide it over, and there's the value. And you can see that a little flatter and a little bit higher running effectiveness. They're both 0%. These are both 1%, if I remember right. Let's go back. Yeah, 1%, 1%. So that every percent of air power change or difference is going to have about a 0.01 effect. So this one with 0% air power was 1%. It's going to bump up to about 0.94. This one here, about 0.936. So if I was planning for this runner on a relatively flat course using the same shoes, we're looking at a running effectiveness about 0.94. Now, I would bracket it in race planning. I'd bracket it and go 0.93, 0.94, and 0.95 in the actual race planning scenarios. But in this case, we can see we've got a lot of agreement near 0.94 for this runner running at roughly marathon effort and marathon distance. So the one thing, as I mentioned, you have to look at air power and really know how is that affecting it. You got to look at the hilliness of the samples versus the hilliness of the race that you're planning for. And the other thing is, I didn't mention this, but if someone changes the calibration factor on their watch, the distance calibration factor, that's going to change running effectiveness as well. So you have to sample from runs done with the same distance calibration factor. That's why you want to set it and leave it be throughout a training block and throughout a race, and preferably forever. Just sort of like the same concept as leaving the weight setting for the power, leaving the weight setting fixed. You want to leave distance calibration factor fixed as long as possible, particularly a whole training block. So this is what you can do to get yourself some samples for running effectiveness and use it in subsequent race power planning in the other calculators. Again, SuperPower Calculator, and you click down, go to the function where you're calculating power metrics, in particular the running effectiveness. This calculator here, enter your weight, enter your samples right here, and then look at your running effectiveness to determine how you're going to bracket running effectiveness in your race power planning. Thank you for watching, and we'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.